What is red and green and yellow and is a bug? That's right. Today it is the Legacy United Deluxe Class Barrage from the whatchamacallit, the Doom and Destruction Collection. Today, upcoming on Transformers Unboxing and Review. Even though this figure is pretty dang awesome, I have to say he's one of the coolest Insecticons that I have in my collection. I got them all right now, but this guy is pretty high up there. I think the coloring is awesome, but anyway, for it being such an awesome figure, some questionable design choices has really kind of hampered this toy. Find out what those choices are later on in this video, but first, some commercials from the 1970s.
Long ago, I learned that all engineering is a matter of designing machines to solve problems. I'm Neil Armstrong. In the Apollo program, I acquired a respect for the ability of Chrysler Corporation engineering to help solve some of the incredible problems of space travel. Now I've seen what they've done for cars, and I'm convinced Chrysler engineering has solved many of the problems that concern all drivers. By pioneering the use of front-wheel drive in small American-built cars, they've given them a new kind of control and handling. The bigger cars, they have engines and transmissions that are right for the times. Sport coupes have been given clean, aerodynamic designs that slice through the wind. As an engineer, I find the cars from Chrysler Corporation exciting, innovative approaches to the needs we all have today. I think you will, too.
Now, I know I'm gushing over this figure a little bit, but it is actually a pretty nice figure. I am, very proud to finally have this figure in my collection. But as always, I like to talk about, various specifics of this figure. And one of the things I like to talk about is where can you find this figure right now? As of the time of this recording, it is an exclusive on Amazon's website. It is part of the Doom and Destruction collection. You can actually find this figure sold from Amazon itself for $54.99. Now, this is also before taxes and shipping. So, depending on what your shipping, like what your membership level is, you could have some shipping charges or you may not, and depending on where you live, the taxes may or may not be a little bit higher. Also, as of right now, I'm not sure. There may be some third parties currently selling it on Amazon. I have not looked recently, but I do know, though, that that price on Amazon is pretty much up to date. I took that screen capture yesterday. So with that out of the way, so this figure, it is actually, just like I mentioned earlier, well, I don't think I mentioned it, but anyway, this figure is a recolor with a slight remold that has a different head of Bombshell from Legacy Evolution. Now, this figure, even though it looks a little bit different in the upper chest torso area, the difference, it's actually kind of deceptive, basically. What they basically did was they took the Bombshell figure, they took the torso, and they just basically turned it around for Barrage, and they added a chest plate. That's why the Barrage figure that you see has a little bit of like a transparent piece on its back, because on the front of Bombshell, it's actually the front of Bombshell. So basically what they did was they just took the torso, they turned it around, they took the arms, and they changed them over to the other opposite arms. That way it would still look right, But yeah, so with the exception of the head sculpt and the little chest piece for his alt mode, it's pretty much almost the same figure. It's still a nice figure, but when people like, wow, that's a different chest piece, it's actually not a different chest piece. They just basically took the figure and the upper torso and just basically reversed it. It's ingenious that they could actually get more use out of the back part of torso. That's neat, but still, it's a little bit deceptive. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think we will move on next. After these commercials, it'll be the unboxing where I will get to talk to you about like what came in the box and all that stuff. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Golf's best follow the sun, surf, and a $300,000 pot of gold to the spectacular Wailea Country Club in the Hawaiian Open, February 10th and 11th on NBC.
As always, the one thing I love to do is show the unboxing of what came in the box. As that one guy always said, what's in the box? And you are about to see what is in that box. So up first, we have some very nice artwork for this box set. I don't know what it is. I do not know what it is, but for some reason, they always seem to hit it out of the park 99% of the time when it comes to the artwork for these exclusives. But for some reason, when it comes to mainline stuff, you get the typical stuff. Why can't we have stuff this nice all the time? This is a very nice box art, I have to be honest. On this side, now this is one of the figures I don't really mention that much in this set at all because I feel that this figure should not have been added to this set. I think it was just there to inflate the price, to be honest. Anyway, this character's name is Malleus Minotaurus. Apparently he's a wrecker, and one of these days I will do a review of that figure. But right now we are talking about Barrage. So on the back of the box, it's your standard fare pretty much. You have them in the primary modes and their alt modes. And with the conversion for, it looks like 10 steps for both, maybe it looks like 10 for Barrage, 11 for Chop Shop, and 6 for Malleus Minotaurus. On this side, you actually have the awesome artwork of Barrage and Chop Shop. On the top, you have the Doom and Destruction logo, along with their little affiliation logo, like how the Decepticons have their symbol, or logo, whatever you want to call it. The Autobots have theirs. Well, this is the Doom and Destruction collection, or also known as, I think they're called the Mayhem Attack Squad. I don't know why they went with Doom and Destruction. Mayhem Attack Squad sounds a hell of a lot cooler, if you ask me. What do you guys think in the comments section? Mayhem Attack Squad or Doom and Destruction? What do you guys think? Now, when you first open up the box, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the figures. They are attached via plastic to the standard cardboard. The accessories are wrapped up in an Autobot printed piece of tissue. It's actually the same kind of soft tissue that they've been using recently for some of these special releases. And then you, of course, get the instruction manual. I never use the instruction manual. I'm more of a visual, like I have to watch somebody do it and then I start learning how to do it. Yeah. Once we move past that, here's a closer look. As I said, they're basically secured via plastic. And then once everything is out of the off the cardboard, here's a breakdown of everything you get. I'm just going to talk about Barrage. Basically, he comes with 3 blasters and 2 accessories that act as insect legs that are attached to his primary mode forearms. But yeah, so that is about it for what came in the box. Stay tuned. I will be right back with conversion.
Do you know me? Even though I wrote a best-selling book on running, with most people I need something to jog their memory. So I carry the American Express card. It's the only card with hundreds of travel offices all around the world to help you if you're lost, need traveler's checks, or emergency money. It's nice to know that if you ever run into trouble, you've got a place to run into.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
When it comes to the conversion of these figures, it was actually pretty easy once you learn what the steps are. For me, I'm more of a visual person. I need to see it be demonstrated, then I start to learn and adapt. Uh, I use the just MGO 316 Just Transform It video as like a blueprint or a template, I guess you could say, for me to learn how to convert this figure. Once you get this figure converted, it's kind of just like it is converting Sound Swipe. It's not Sound Swipe. Wow, that's a new character's name. Sound Swipe. No. Side Swipe. It's like kind of converting Sideswipe from the War for Cybertron series. Once you learn how to do it, it's pretty easy after that. So yeah, I have to say that this was actually a pretty fun and intuitive conversion process. Now, I'm not going to show it all here because that entire video would be too long. What I am going to do is in the comment section below and then somewhere up in here somewhere, I'm going to put little links so you can see it. And that way you can watch the video if you want. If you want to, that's cool. If not, that's okay. It's literally just me converting the figure. However, I do want to let everybody know that because of the time I've been recording all of this, it has been a major heat wave going on. So at that time, I just did not feel like doing any narration. So basically, it's just going to be you're just going to hear MGO talking with me on the side converting the figure. One thing you should know before you do watch the video is that I do stop and rewind the video a couple times, I think, to learn how to get the steps down perfectly. So yeah, overall it was actually pretty fun. It was pretty fun, and I'm glad to have actually had this opportunity to convert this figure.
It's raining, Ollie.
I can see that.
The wipers sure are making a mess.
Well, why don't you do something to help me? Oh!
Once a year, it makes sense to get yourself a new set of Anco wiper blades. It's simple, quick, and an inexpensive way to see your way clear again.
But that's much better, Ollie.
Why, thank you, Stanley.
We are at the point of this video where I'm going to basically be giving you my review with the positives and the negatives and the pet peeves and all that good stuff, as it always is. But before I do that, I'm going to play a video where basically I talk about, I go into review a little bit more of my thoughts, and then after that I'll give you the bullet points and all that good old stuff. So let's get to it, shall we? So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to mute my mic, and I'll be right back. When it comes to the Legacy United Deluxe Class Barrage, this figure is actually pretty damn cool. However, even though it is very cool, it does have some, problems or flaws, I guess you could say, of its own. So let's switch over. So we're gonna do this. All right, hold on. Let's see here. I'm getting everything set up. So there's this, and then there's this. So ultimately, the coloring for this figure, it is actually pretty damn nice. Now I know the camera isn't the best at showing it, but the greens are actually pretty dark. I like that. For some reason, it just seems to mesh with this character. The yellows, most of the yellows are pretty vibrant, like on the arms, the head, the upper thighs, the crotch piece. As you can see, it's also nice on the back. However, oddly enough, the one area of contention I have to say is the shin panels itself. It looks like to be a little bit of like a green bleed through through the yellow. I think this could have done with at least one more coat of yellow paint. Other than that, the coloring of this figure is actually pretty damn nice. The reds actually even pop a little bit on the chest plate here, on the forehead, and in the visor. It's pretty nice. And then on the back, you also have the red there. That's actually pretty nice also. let's see here. I love the head sculpt is actually pretty damn nice. I never had any Insecticons when I was younger. So, like, I'm getting to basically relive a little bit of my childhood by collecting all these Insecticons. So I didn't know anything about this character, so I was really wondering, like, what would the head sculpt look like? And since this figure is primarily, it's pretty much a very, very, very slight retool with a different head sculpt. You know, you kind of the big question when it comes to recolors basically is the head sculpt going to do justice? Because when you're getting a character that's basically a repaint, a lot of that falls upon the head sculpt, and if it's going to be suitable enough. And I actually gotta say, I actually like it a lot. I do. The articulation. When it comes to articulation, it's your typical Hasbro fare now. It's the same blueprint that they kind of mastered with the War for Cybertron. The figure can do a little. He can't really do a full. It can't even really go 90 degrees because of the fact that it has this piece on the back of the head, which prevents it from turning. It's basically due to various factors like these posts here. But yeah, the back part of this head prevents it from being able to do a full Linda Blair. The arms. Okay, let's see here. I thought that these actually. Oh, there it goes. The arms can actually go all the way. It could do a Y pose, basically. Hold on. It could do a Y pose. It can do a full 360. And due to the joints here, it can actually do like some some little crunches, I guess you could say, or butterflies, or whatever you want to call it. It actually has a pretty satisfying click, at least on the right arm. It has a pretty satisfying click to let you know that it's back securely in place. However, this one does. The left arm does not. It has your typical bicep rotation. The hands can only swing in due to transformation. Legs can go this far. It can actually do about a full 90 degrees. It can go a little over 90 degrees, kicking up. It can go even a little bit further than that when it's going backwards. You have your typical knee joint, a little over 90. And then you have ankle tiltage. It looks like it could go about. I don't want to risk forcing any further, but it can go that far out. So it's your typical. It is your typical, Hasbro, articulation that they've seemed to have really kind of mastered since the War for Cybertron era. I just gotta get it correctly. There it goes. So that's the articulation. I'll be honest. Even though I hate the idea of the Evofusion gimmick because they've used it in some form or another since Titan's Return, when you could literally combine some weapons and specific characters together. They make it sound like that this is something new, and it is not. It is not new at all. This has been going on for quite a while. So basically, oh God, there you go. So basically, you could take the weapons. He comes with 3 weapons. It's basically the same 3 items that came with Bombshell. You plug them into the blaster, and it basically turns into a tri-barrel weapon. Tri-barrel, is that the right term? Yeah. And basically there you go. And it looks like all three of these barrels have the ports for your blast effects. So you would like if you like the blast effects, you will most likely like that. Now, this, like I said, this is the weapon that came with Bombshell. It is literally the same weapon, just colored differently. Okay. Conversion. The conversion, as you saw in the previous segment, the conversion was actually pretty fun once you learn it. You know, it isn't something that's going to take multiple times to understand. Basically, yeah. It's kind of like the best way I can really describe it is like how you had sideswipe in War for Cybertron. Once you did it that first time, it just seemed to really click quickly, you know, and it's kind of the same way. Okay, for the negatives. Now, even though I think that this figure is painted awesomely, the issues I have, like I already mentioned, were the shin panels. It's just, if they had one extra coat, I think it would have been awesome. It isn't as bad as Sunstreaker from Earthrise, if I remember correctly, where he had literally like just blatantly different yellows. You know, like it isn't that bad, but it's just enough to catch it if you're looking, if you know what you're looking for. Now, I have an issue with the right knee, which I'm going to show right now. So let's do this. And then, as you can see here, hold on, let's see, there you go. For some reason, the left knee, as you can see, the left knee will sit flush against the shin panel. However, hold on, I thought I had it set to loop. There it goes. However, for some weird reason, I'm not sure if it's actually a defect with the left knee that it's not supposed to sit that flush against the panel, or if the right knee is defective and it's not sitting flush against the panel. I have it properly converted, as you can see in the following image. I have it properly converted, so I'm not sure if it's the left knee that could have a small QC issue. If it's the right knee with a QC issue, I'm not sure what it is. But all I know is I actually have the leg joints converted properly. So let's turn this off, and then we'll go back to here. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I mean, everything looks, looks fine. I just do not understand why one knee does it fine, and then the other one refuses to do it. The best way I can describe it is that imagine it being like two magnets. You're trying to put two magnets together and they constantly push you away. That's what it is like with that one leg joint. It just does not want to cooperate. When it comes to retooling, it feels a little bit of a letdown. Basically, all they really did was they added, for the retooling part, I'm not talking about the head sculpt, but for the retooling itself, they added the chest plate for the alt mode. But then what they did was they basically just reversed the whole upper assembly. They reversed the whole upper assembly. So whereas here he is. Whereas here's Bombshell, by the way. Whereas Bombshell has the transparent piece here on the front, it's actually on the back for Barrage. And whereas they just basically added the chest plate, it's basically the back part of Bombshell. It's kind of ingenious in one aspect, but it's also kind of just a little bit lazy, if you ask me. I think they could have done a little bit more with this figure, but that's their decision. I don't really have a choice, But yeah, so basically, like I said, all they did was they basically flipped they flipped the upper part around, and then basically to do that, they basically also removed the two arms at the biceps, and then just flipped them for different onto the opposite arms. So basically, the hands would not be reversed. That's basically really all that they did besides the chest plate. When it comes to the when it came to converting this figure, there was a little bit. I could not seem to get the arms to peg into the undercarriage of the alt mode. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I followed MGo's video to the letter, and it just did not want to. It did not want to peg in, so that was a little bit sad. That's why the figure on the turntable looked a little bit off when it would get into certain angles. It looked like he was kind of listing a little bit. That is because I could not get the arms to peg in. Honestly, when I look at this figure, I just feel that this figure could have been so much more. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice figure. But I mean, I think this may be like the second or third ever figure of Barrage. I may be wrong, but I mean, for a figure that has not had that much publicity and not had that much time out, out with the consumers, you would think that they would have done a lot more. Instead of just doing a retool of Bombshell although it is an interesting upper torso, it's still a little bit lazy ultimately. But yeah, so those are my thoughts about the Legacy United Deluxe Class Barrage. Okay, everybody, welcome back. So that was a little bit of a long video. I apologize about that, but I wanted to be able to make sure I got everything I wanted to talked about. Now it is on time to the bullet points. I guess you could say I have it broken down amongst three things. I have it broken down amongst the positives, the negatives, and the pet peeves. So first off with the positives, I love the coloring. With the exception of the shin panel, as I mentioned in the video, that shin panel could have gone with at least one more coat of paint. Up next, we have the head sculpt. It looks totally awesome. Then again, a head sculpt should be different when you're dealing with basically a recolor. The articulation, it's the typical Hasbro, quality of articulation nowadays. They really stepped up their game since they entered the War for Cybertron era, and it continues to carry over all the way till now. Even though I'm not a fan of the Evofusion gimmick because it's been played to death like the whole Armorizer gimmick, this one I can actually dig. I still like it. And the conversion, once you learn the steps, the conversion is actually pretty damn easy. When it comes to the negatives, I have a few of them. The paint application on the shin panels, as I already mentioned, just need an extra coat of paint. In the video, I mentioned the issue with the right knee. I am reaching out to some other collectors to see if they had the same problem that I do with mine. I was kind of excited that this was going to be a retool, and then I realized that it was literally just that they swapped out, or they basically rotated the upper torso, So that's kind of a bummer. I wish that they actually did a little bit more with the retooling process of this figure. And then finally, with in the alt mode, I could not get the arms to peg to the needed locations. I don't know what I did wrong. I followed MGo. It could just be that some figures just have issues pegging together and everything. Finally, when it comes to the pet peeves, I honestly feel that this figure should have been so much more. Even though, don't get me wrong, I love this figure, I do. But considering that this character is pretty damn rare, that you don't get that many toys based on this figure, I was just hoping for a little bit more than just, basically just another Bombshell with a torso turned around. I was hoping for a little bit more, But yeah, so that was my review of this figure. So stay tuned, and I will be right back with my final thoughts.
His listeners listen, his teenage daughters don't.
He's got a band.
He calls it his Rassle Castle.
Hello, Trouble. Hello, Larry. Fridays on the new NBC.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the very end of this video. I want to say thank you to everybody who has been patiently waiting. Like I said, we've been under a heat wave lately for like almost over a week, and it just gets to the point that when I can start getting things ready, it gets too warm, and I'm just like, you know what, I can't do it under all this heat. So, but it's finally starting to cool down now. So let's actually continue on with the final thoughts. So overall, this figure, you know, for what it costs, it is actually this is a nice figure. The only downside is if you only want Barrage, you're going to have to buy it in a 2-pack. But that's not really much of a killer, because the fact is everybody probably also wants Chop Shop also to basically fill out their Insecticons. It is currently going for $54.99 on Amazon's website, but I just looked recently before I started recording, and there are some third parties that are selling it. However, Amazon is still selling this box set, so odds are you will most likely find the best deal with Amazon. Okay. As I already mentioned in the review, with the exception of the shin, the coloring of the shins, and some of the little weird problems like with the knee joints, and then the fact that they just basically turned the torso around on this figure. It's a nice figure. It's just, you got to remember that it is ultimately a repaint, slight remold with a different head. So if you're expecting there to be a whole new character, it's not going to be a whole new character. I'm sorry, it just isn't. However, okay, so let's do this, and then we'll do this. However, ultimately at the end, I don't give a score per se. I give like a buy, and then yes, no, or when it's on clearance. And ultimately, do I suggest that you buy this, or do you want this figure? Yes, you will. However, like I said, it's part of a box set, so you're going to have to fork out a little bit more. But odds are, just because of the fact that everybody wants to fill out their Insecticons, odds are you probably will not have an issue with this set, you know, having to buy another figure. But yeah, so that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do this. Nope, wrong one. Hold on, let's go back to, where is it? Oh, there it is. There you go. So, as always, it is time to call it a day. At least for the video, I should say. It's still pretty early. But that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you liked what you watched, feel free to click that subscribe button, click the bell to be notified, click the like button. I have various ways of for you to reach out to me. It's all in the description below. Next time, I'm not sure what I'll be unboxing and reviewing next, but I have a lot of stuff, so it's just going to be a surprise. So until next time, my name is Jeff, aka GCurse, wishing you all a great day. Stay safe, everybody. Peace out.